and admission of patient. This is the interview. Interview will ask the staff member here, the surveyor, read the policy before he come and talk to you. So he know what our policy. The policy here for admission and outpatient registration, this is the number of the policy. Okay? So they should be known by everybody. Staff members are aware of these policies. So that's why it should be, the question is about the policy. If you decide for admission one patient and you don't have bed available, what you will do? What you will do? If the patient is in need and as soon as possible, we'll send them to ED as a boarded patient, then we have a bed.
Yes.
If it's elective, we will put him on
observation.
Very simple.
Dr. Farah, it's not ICU 0. There is difference between ICU 0 and boarded. Boarded have no financial problem with approval, with everything, but only the problem is the availability.
You see here, boarded patient, a patient who meets EPH admission criteria, there's admission criteria of admission policy, yes. And admission order already there, but has not been transferred to the inpatient unit
Because no bed
Available.
This is the boarded patient.
And we give also the opportunity for the patient to go to another facility.
Actually, we don't. We will put them in the Okay. So if you decide, so boarded patient, a patient who meet EBH admission criteria, I said it, boarded patient will be transferred to a day case if available. Now, it's a close, so we will not transfer, but we say if available. If no available in the day case, patient will stay in ED for not more than 48 hours, I hope. And boarded patient, whenever the location, sometimes we board the patient in the unit. Like psychiatric patient, and I don't have bed, I boarded them in unit 2 or unit 5. They are boarded. They are not in the correct unit. They are boarded patient. And this is why the priority, we have to meet in the priority. It doesn't have to be boarded only in ER. It could be boarded
Another
any
unit.
unit. It could be boarded
While
in
waiting for
ICU.
the bed.
I don't have telemetry. What I do with the patient? I put him ICU overnight. They are boarded. They are not in the correct. So boarded patient, any location. The hospital ensure uniform standard of care, especially for this patient, application of hospital policy and procedure, and service provided to the patient must be according to the standard, the guideline, and according to law and regulation. So the question will be asked, how you ensure that you have uniform care? The answer will be, we follow policy and procedure for all patients, regardless of race, way of payment, or whatever. And we follow the guideline, which is standard of care. Our guideline based on national and international professional body. Here, like the hospital issue uniform, the hospital, this is from the policy now. So I'm talking, this is from the policy, but the answer, as I'm saying, is much easier for the staff, don't complicate it. We follow, implement policy and procedure. All patients receive same standard across hospital setting. All patients, the same standard care at all times, during, and this is one of the issues that will ask about MD schedule. Because here the problem now, are we making the same care for patient at 2 a.m., okay, and he needed urology, and that's why the on-call and the schedule of doctors is very important to have it in the unit. All patients receive the same standard of care regardless of their ability to pay and regardless of race and gender. The answer how we do that, we follow the policy and procedure and the guideline for all patients. This is the answer, simple answer. Now the hospital ensure easy accessibility to care and services. This will be by FMS and LD and its own observation, which is mean you will not know, there is no question, so you will not know. So that will look at the hospital department service that physically accessible and the hospital adult efficient appointment system. They will ask about it. Appointment system. If they didn't observe it, they will ask it. And that's why I put it. The hospital ensures easy access to care, and care of disabled patient. This is, remember this policy, it has to be reviewed because the hospital has a process to minimize language barrier by communicating with patients with their primary location. We have a list of interpreter, but the most important answer here that we do learning ability assessment, isn't it?
Yes.
To know what we need for these patients. Now, in our policy, written patient with language or culture that present barrier. Patient need for translator. You will call the translator. It could be face to face or by phone. He doesn't have to come. You can give the phone. Translate conduct. The translator service is applied to all service steps, and you have the list. And as a part of patient education assessment of learning ability, language preferred is identified. Okay? So in this case, now I want to ensure that all of you can access the translator.
Yes.
Now the one who is responsible for translator update is Kareem. If you find somebody who is in the list, who is left the hospital, just tell Kareem so we will update. Yes. Now, how do you deal with patients with special communication? Now, hearing. Hearing, we said before, we will have sign language, we don't. But there is application on the phone. You can download it, this application for sign language in Arabic. And you put what you want and we'll give you the sign language. Let's try if we can download something like this. This will help. Use written material or picture. How we communicate with deaf patients with written material and picture. It's not only talk. We can give him written or picture. We need your iqama. So we'll show him iqama. So we can have something that just that has to be answered. For sight impaired patients, we have in the unit that you will put signage that sight impaired. And always you will put please introduce and let me know when you leave. Please ask if I need assistance. And all the related issue for the one who doesn't see. You cannot tell the one who doesn't see, I showed a picture. So we have to be logic that we give him material, we talk more than anything else, so he can hear us. The hospital has a system for initial assessment of patients. This is all reviewed, and this is all we talk about. We talk about the assessment of patients, and the most important that to complete the form. لا تروح أحمد بس أنت
phone.
Okay, راجع. The initial assessment includes screening of patients for pain, functional limitation, and malnutrition. So here really is open record, open medical record, and they will see it on the place. Screening criteria are developed by qualified individual. I put this for the criteria. Remember the nurses, they do criteria for nutrition.
Yes.
And your policy signed by the dietitian. Now the initial assessment include needs for discharge planning. And this is here in the policy, they check it in the closed medical review and on open and interview. Staff members are aware of the discharge planning process. That aware, especially here, the case that need multidisciplinary, like case which is under many services, the case which is, need the social worker to check the home situation, where we will send them. So read the policy, and this is the answer. The answer, yes, the cases with comorbidity, multiple physician, the case that needs social worker assessment, this is really need planning for discharge. But we do planning for discharge from admission for all our patients, especially with the known patient condition like CS. They know they will discharge the patient after how many days? 30 days. So the discharge planning starts from the beginning. They know the third day they have to be finished. This means that all the education done, all the things related to the patient is done already. The initial assessment include the needs for discharge planning. Here, discharge planning, what we wrote in the policy, discharge planning should start on admission in order to assure continuity of care of the hospital. Discharge of patients should be based on individual need, and discharge planning actually start on the assessment based on the patient physiological, psychological, nutritional factor, screening for high-risk predictor to identify patient need more comprehensive discharge planning. This is what I talk about. Care plan developed, identify the goals, when we will, and we evaluate these goals. Implementation of the plan, then follow up post-discharge. And this is post-discharge, what we do, you can answer, all our patient is psychiatric. And I want to sit with you how we will follow up our psychiatric patient. And ICU patient, we don't do follow-up phone, but all the other and the IVF patient. This is the three category, we don't do follow-up phone call. Okay, so we need to put for psychiatric patient, ICU patient. Now, why the patient is discharged home from ICU, I don't know. Why he is in ICU if he can be discharged home.
That has almost stopped now.
Because he was not
No, I
indicated to
have
be in the ICU
OVR.
for this time. He was not indicated to be in the ICU for this time.
Exactly,
But then they should not be in the ICU.
exactly.
For example, one
That's why I have a OVR, discharge from ICU directly home. I have OVR with this, like 2 days ago.
too much,
Yes.
not too much.
It's less now than it was before.
Of course, the family should be involved, include but not limited to attending physician, is the designee, the nurses, the physiotherapy, all the one who take care of the patient should be involved. The plan of the discharge should be reassessed and see can we discharge the patient, and this is through what? Through evaluation our goals with the care plan. It's all associated together. Then the attending physician in collaboration with patient health team will decide on a patient eligibility for long term when discharged, and if he will be transferred to another facility. This is all with this. Discharge planning process, consider the need of support service, and this is here where you will need maybe the social worker to be involved. So it will give, list of supporting. You remember we talked about the education before, and I showed you where it is. Okay, now, initial assessment of patient is completed and documented in the medical record. This is all, if you will see, this is covered by Iman before for open file, closed file, and this is in the open file, completed and documented. Earlier, we never indicated, remember this one, that yes, it's saved within 24 hours, but it could be before. And always before surgery or intervention, procedure is need to be completed. You cannot say within 24 hours. Assessment completed more than 30 days and less than 30 days. It could be just focus. If it's less than 30 days, focus assessment. And if it's more than 30 days, then it will be complete assessment. Medical and nursing assessment are completed prior to surgery, anesthesia, and anesthetist procedure. So this is what we have, what I talk about. Medical assessment is completed, and this is by medical surveyor. He will look at the close record, but what he will interview, surveyor will ask the staff about availability of laboratory tests, radiology tests. And our answer that we can see the laboratory test on the system. We can see the radiology. We can print all of them. Okay, and this is the simple answer. So can be reviewed as a system and can be printed. The lab in the inpatient printed automatically and in the ER. Now, nursing assessment is completed and documented for each patient. This is all open medical record talk about it by Iman. Additional specialized assessment performed for identified patient group, and this is also talked about physiotherapy assessment, dietitian assessment, all the other. Now, the hospital has a process to manage patients of suspected abuse, neglect, and domestic violence. This is the nursing surveyor who will ask. And you have to be, survey will ask staff about the rules and regulation about cases with abuse of mental health. And this is the answer for it, that we do detailed assessment, detailed history, and we did the social worker. Social worker, when they ask her, already they are, very well aware of what to do. But as nursing and physician, you take history, you do, what we do. This is what we do, okay? This is the interview. Patients are assessed, reassessed, and managed for pain, and this is all open record, and this is what I found was last medical record review. You put as head nurses are getting very good marks for pain assessment, but our auditors say no, it's only 75%. So please check the pain assessment in your unit. And this is talked about by Iman. In-hospital patients have their overall care managed and coordinated by one qualified physician, so there is identified physician. Surveyor will ask physician about his privilege. Are you privileged for admission? Okay. You should be able to enter the privilege and show it, but also nurses will know that you enter the privilege and check. It's in another standard, it's in MS standard. This is about provision of care, but there is another standard saying that you have to check before providing the care. Okay? So you check it, and when we talk about this one, they will review the file later on. I will take some names and review the file also, the privilege, the staff file. A comprehensive plan of care is developed collaboratively and documented on each patient, and this is our project for plan of care. This is almost finished. And this is look at the open medical record. And patients are reassessed to ensure effective of care plan, and this is in a close and medical record. That's why the evaluation of care plan, please be careful that you did it at least before discharge. Because their comment really was, how you are discharging this patient and he didn't reach the goal. So please, before discharge, ensure that the physician check the evaluation made, not made. Then if it's partially made, let's say, one of the issues, so why he is discharging the patient, it has to be written that, okay, he's educated.
Shouldn't the physician make this decision?
Yes.
The physician should not discharge unless they say that the patient met the goal.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. So just ensure that this is done. Help us, the nurses.
The nurses need help too. We can't help everyone.
Clinical practice guideline pathway and protocol are developed, adopted to guide priority clinical care service. Surveyor will ask the staff, adhere the medical. So he will ask physician mostly about the clinical practice guideline. You have to know how to access the clinical guideline. Okay? The nurse will ask the same, but your staff should know their own clinical guideline. And remember, there is no clinical guideline not signed by three: medical, nursing, and pharmacy. Pharmacy will sign if it's in the guideline there is medication. Okay, so they will ask all this about the guideline. List of guideline and pathway. You have a your department list. At least know the list. Because you don't have to memorize, but you have to know how to access it. And I'm not talking about the quality executive, I'm talking about the physician. So they have to be told, and it's your job. Your job. Now, when we think about the hospital, ensure uniform patient care, process during invasive intervention, and this is in OR, radiology, cath lab, endo, and correct me, any procedure done in the unit and it's interventional, there's a process for it, and this is the MD will see it with the open file. Provision of care is continued, integrated, and coordinated. The patient medical record is available to authorize care. The question will be, surveyor will ask medical staff about the availability, how you can access the medical record if you need. You will say always it's in the unit 24 hours. If it's not in the unit, in the medical record, in the outpatient setting, in ER setting, we can access it through medical record, they can bring it to us. Information about patient care and progress is exchanged during change of shift, handover between shift and during transfer and referral between healthcare providers. And this is the way asked, and this is, I have big problem with the physician handover. So please check your handover, that is go with the SBAR, fix it, because we need, they will see it. Actually, in CBAHI standard is required in the file. In JCI not required in the file, but in CBAHI standard required in the file. Now the nursing already they have with their flow sheet already is there. Okay? And we have many form when we transfer from cath lab, we had it mixed with the physician, which is good. We cover them, physician and nurses together. We have the ICU special form. Between the unit, it has to be, there's a handover.
There's no reason why the physicians can't use the nursing handover. It's very nice. You refuse, I understand, because it's nursing.
No, psychiatry using.
No, not because nursing preference, because they are afraid that this will transfer the filling out to them. I told them this will not, because you have not privilege to enter that. But this is what we have. Physician order as documented consistent location, and this is in order. Number six in the file, remember number six?
Yeah, number 6.
Okay, we have 6A and 6B. 6A is the physician order, 6B is the medication order. Okay? Now, sufficient medication staff are available to meet patient need, and this is the medical surveyor double check the schedule. And the question that will be asked, surveyor will ask the staff, when he on call, okay, is he on the premises? Now the expectation that he is in the premises. Our staff really is around the premises. So our answer, around the premises, when we call immediately, that will be here like in 10 minutes.
Along the perimeter, the premises.
Around
Not the premises, but along the perimeter.
Within the premise, not within
Taking
the
lots of
premises.
house, but
Because I
within 10
don't
minutes
want
can
people to lie, but here what I expect is within the premises, no. If they are on call, we have on duty, most of the staff on
Along the
duty.
perimeter.
We have some specialty which is on call, and this is around the premises, that would be very. Okay, a nursing pre-operative checklist completed to control the transfer handover of patient to the operating room, and this is our safety tool. And this is in the open medical record. Then we have the hospital meet the unique needs of terminally ill patient in culturally and age appropriate manner. And this is our check it in both. Remember that terminally ill, long term, this is geriatric patient, we have a special form. So when we talk about geriatric patient over certain age, 80, I think, 80, ladies, 80. There's a special form that we do for all special assessments. Yes, for children and those people, we have a special also form for pediatric and newborn and all this. But also we have for long-term patient, and this is a special format that will improve and terminally ill. What we have the form for what?
End of life care and extended care.
I want the one who has these patients ensure that these forms is there.
Are we using the form?
And using it.
No,
Because
we're not
this is-
using the form.
Once.
The
Because
geriatric
you
yes,
have
the
your
extended
patient.
care. Extended care we don't use it. We use it one time after that.
No, use it, yeah.
Because
You
I
are
told you I cannot
killing me.
find the form.
What do you
Where's the
want me
form?
to do? You can ask Karim for the form. Don't tell me what I cannot find the form, yeah. Ayman, it's not logic answer. You already use it, خلاص. And
But when we're
approve.
piloting it, is it done with the physicians?
Okay, just bring forms and put it, because this is covered, this is standard, it's covered this long term, discover this is standard, discover the standard of project and guideline, discover LD standard. You are killing me, really.
It's not official. It's not official for this only.
No, it's official. Who told you not official? Already the policy on the system.
طلعت خلاص.
Okay,
Please,
because
Iman, you are responsible to follow
For all
up
units
this.
or only unit 2?
Usually this unit,
And
unit
ICU.
2 and
I see you.
ICU, they will not use the same. I
Even
think.
for us. Because we have long term. Long term lang kayo.
In the unit 9.
Ilang video na.
Yes. Terminally ill patients, end of life, these people, extended care, all go check and have for each one. And usually we use it once a month, isn't it?
1 month.
Once a month. And there's a standing order in it, you put it in order place, in the order.
This one should be diagnosis or
I have a question also, Pastor.
should be diagnosis also.
I'm-
Do not resist.
When we do it,
No, do not resist it. If they are extended care,
When
you will use this. If it's 10 years. So let's say that you will not give resuscitative medication, but you will give the other, GD, laxative, whatever, then you use this because it's thick boxes, make it very easy. How to use it, and it's easy for you.
Doctora,
Please, Iman, I need this fellow, I want it done.
for those psychiatric patients staying in our unit for more than 2 weeks, are these patients also considered as long-term patients?
No.
4
No,
weeks, 30
months.
days.
1 month.
1 month.
1 month. More than 1 month also, the same
No,
will
it doesn't
last.
apply to them. They are staying for psychiatry, not staying for the other. Now, policy and procedure guide the handling, use and administration of blood. I don't have to talk about this, it's ESR. It's the lab who will say, but the surveyor will ask about the policy of handling requests, and it should be able, the physician and the nurses, to access the policy. So this is one of the policy that I will ask, you show me how you will see it. All ESR that will ask you, show me how you will see it. Okay, surveyor will ask medical and nursing what we will do if any complication happen during blood transfusion. Any complication, including, what say? I have one OVR. Yes.
Pulmonary.
Pulmonary or something, but it's including this. You cannot, if you have any transfusion reaction, it has to be that the blood go to the bank and there is a specific.
Lavender and the urine.
Yes.
Urine and
Urine.
something
Blood
like that.
sample.
That's
And
2
you
blood
have the
samples.
transfusion
Forms.
and complete the form, and the one who is responsible for analysis, not Dr. Barbari, is the lab. So we are not responsible for the analysis. The analysis
Any lung congestion related to the blood transfusion is blood reaction.
Gotcha.
related during A, but this is a consequence of blood transfusion more than reaction. Because maybe pulmonary edema is the amount of fluids not too much or something.
Yes, that's why Dr. Bakri considered it as it is like.
It's the consequences of blood
Yes.
transfusion.
Yeah.
Yes, it's reportable
Yeah.
and it's,
But-
you follow
But
the.
here's the
But we
situation.
know this,
Just with-
same the step of
Yes.
the blood
Yes.
sample and.
Yes, and we
Yes.
talked about it before.
Okay, you guys, just wait, but if you think
To
about it,
convince of.
no, if you think about it, if the patient really was having a blood transfusion reaction and we didn't send it, and the patient goes to Fakir Hospital next month, they don't know that they had a transfusion in our hospital. The patient has every right to know if how they reacted was just fluid, or did they actually react to some components of the
Yes.
blood? It's a
They will
disservice to the
tell,
patient.
they will tell us the blood transfusion, the blood bank, they will tell us no transfusion hemolytic or something. There's no transfusion.
No problem.
It's a consequence.
It's not a restriction.
Yes, yes. Now also the one ESR, and this is a clinical standard, and it's killing us in the hospital, is about the DBT. Please complete the form. For every over 18 years old, for, there's a special form
Form.
during pregnancy, and also they are killing us because we've been talking about this 1 month ago or 2 months ago. Till now, I sent the staff, they said they are not using it. The staff, they don't know about it.
Do you know about the obligated change, doctor?
Prevention,
We have a
okay.
form
It
obligation.
should be, yes, they know,
Yes.
May DVD din kasi
Who
sa...
are-
All the physician and nurses, nobody.
No,
About
there has
others.
been election with Dr. Hassan 2 months ago with the form. Okay, so now we have the DVT, okay. What they will check? They check that there's assessment. So this is the first page. And there's a
The back.
prevention, according to the assessment, the count, the everything. There's a prevention.
It's an order.
Medication prescribed, you cannot see, right, C medication. Take the one you are prescribing, ya akhi. Take the one is less than C medication. Take it. Okay, it's less.
But what in case, what as a patient is already covered, patient already.
I don't care.
Patient what is already-
Still, I know. I have an OVR. Patient already covered
And
anticoagulants.
right
I don't
now,
care.
fine,
They have to do assessment. They have to reassess the patient. Even when you assess the patient, let's say, and you put him on something, you will never reassess the patient for DVT. He will continue for life.
Yes, some patients are anticoagulation for life.
Yes, but you have to reassess. You cannot just continue for life without reassess. يا فرج طلع عليها طلع عليها كثير.
Reassess.
أنا ما أطلع على documentation أنا is that not we need the documentation, we need the care, and you prove the care by documenting. It's not the documentation we need the care. And the care has to be reassessed within 1 month.
Every 30 days.
Every 30 days يلعن أبوه. The hospital provides psychiatric care service in accordance with the professional standard. So psychiatric care is provided by qualified physician.
Yes.
So what the physician they will ask this folder, they will ask for it. They will check in the open medical record, but they will observe that is required. As open counseling, they will observe access only by authorized staff, quick assistance. I put it because this is observation, you have to check it. Seclusion area, that always they tell us we don't have seclusion. No, you have.
We don't have, we have
You say
observation room.
Observation.
Yeah.
But
We have
they
observation room, we don't have seclusion.
Okay.
Train.
Policy and procedure guide the care. They will check all this. Okay? So your people has to know this. And the policy and procedure are developed by qualified psychiatric in collaboration with other relevant professionals. So check your all that signed by the staff member are aware and implement all relevant policy. So your staff has to answer all this. Okay?
What in case you have ICU or site and transfer to ICU?
To ICU, still the one psych portion is covered by psychiatry. The psych disease covered by, you cover the medical. You don't cover the psych.
That's why they always, if patient is transferred, always co-management. One site
Yes.
and one,
One
One
Policy
consultant.
and procedure to guide the care of patient on restraint. And this is here the hospital implement policy. They will read the policy. They will check here by observing the staff about restraint only after order by the most responsible physician, so they need to see it. And you need to know this. And the restraint order every 24 hours, patient are restrained, described in relevant policy. In our policy, our psychiatry restraint every 8 hours because it's a behavior issue. So the behavior will change. While the medical restraint in the telemetry in ICU is really for medical reason, so he will not put something or higher force, so it's every 24 hours. This is the different behavior. Okay, restraint are applied in safe condition. The most responsible physician decide, and the most responsible physician perform periodic assessment, and this is, we have it for all. Nursing staff provide periodic monitoring, and we have it every 30 minutes. okay? And patients are reassessed on a frequent basis, at least hourly. We have it every 30 minutes.
Our problem is that the physician has no documentation when they put the patient on restraint and upon the release.
So,
But they are writing only the orders, but there is no documentation
No,
about
they have to
patient's
reassess.
behavior before the release.
yes, you talk to them about it when you meet, okay?
Ikaw na yung department head.
Yes, yes, yes. Restraint are applied safely in accordance with professional standard. The least restrictive and most efficient
ko na
use of
mabasa yan.
restraint
Sa
must be
lamesa.
appropriate
Hindi ko
and safe
nabasa.
for patient, and this is all will be observation. And patient dignity and rights are preserved. This is also appropriate intervention are performed when patient circulation is being impaired. So if there's something, yes. And appropriate intervention are performed for side effect related to measure, for.
Yes, doctor.
And all assessment, reassessment, monitoring, finding, order, and intervention are properly documented. An alarm system is available in the room and a nursing station for immediate help or assistance. Okay, now what I will check also, that there is a competence for monitoring this patient. And this is why I put it in a blue and very, very bad slide. But this is in a blue is that will check, that will take the names and check that you have the competencies. Remember that they have the competency. Crash card now, the MMU will come to your unit and check the crash card. He will observe and he will ask about document evidence, which is the crash card paper. Okay, that is done. Also, the MD will ask about also the hospital effective system for safe provision of care, patient requiring cardio. So double check CPR
That was
form
sure.
and double check, and this is documented evidence, double check personnel file. The one, like we have to have ACLS, BLS, all the things. And the clinical staff are trained how to use the alarm system, so the surveyor will ask one of the nurse, call maybe announce code blue. Okay, so they have to be able to announce code blue, and he will check that our policy say within 2 minutes. Is it within 2 minutes? The ICU leader will arrive and the team. Surveyor will ask nurse in the ward to announce RRT also, and this is for the RRT. They'll check the form, they'll check RRT report. That you know about the RRT report. RRT report, we manage check to sure that it's already on the system. What I want you to have access to. This is the quality section for KPIs. You will find the RRT report under risk management. Okay. Also, there are written criteria indicated to staff, and they will ask here, not the nurse, the physician, what the criteria for early warning school. They are asking the physician for it, and this is the policy there. Then policy and procedure guide care of vulnerable patient, and we have 2 policy related. All it has to be known for the staff. Staff members are aware and implement relevant policy. Okay, surveyor will ask medical staff how to deal with vulnerable patients, not only the nursing staff. Nursing staff, they do screening and identify all the vulnerable patients. And accordingly, they have special care plan. But also, the physician has to, you adjust the geriatric, you adjust for infectious disease, you adjust for all terminally ill patients. And that's why one of the things will cover us is this 2 form. End of life, you see, yes. Now, here, hospital has a policy for patients permitted to leave the organization, and this is the policy, and they will look at the policy. If they look at the policy, you have to be able to, if he need to leave, we will have special permission, the physician has to sign for it, and the duty now. This is the permission. Could be for 1 hour, 3 hours, according. Then the medication given before, if he will be during this, the unit dose will be given, so he will take it in time. All this, the education needed to be there. Now, the hospital has an effective process for consultation between specialty, and this is the referral form.
Referral form.
So what they will check is that referral form should be completed, and there is a time frame. They will ask about the time frame for routine 24 hours, you know it. It's on the form. Okay. Policy and procedure guide the transfer of patients between hospital units, and the hospital has an efficient discharge process. All this on the medical record. The hospital has a safe and efficient process for initiating transfer to other organization, ambulance transfer form, patient discharge transfer form. You have it in your, and this is all document review, medical record review, and it's a closed department. It's a closed medical record. The hospital ensures safe transportation of patient during transfer to other organization. Of course, this is the transportation, the monitoring during transportation or related issue, including the checking of car. You know that the form we need for check.
Doctora, we really have a form for referral to other organizations.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I
our
know-
summary.
Yeah,
our short
it's
summary.
only, it's only the summary and the
Yes.
short report that we are giving, but there
Yes,
is
this
no
is
actual
the-
referrals.
No, it's written transfer,
Transfer.
discharge transfer summary. And remember what's written in the policy, in the standard, that they will take the summary typewritten. Yes, we give it handwritten, then we do medical report.
Yes.
Okay,
That's all.
Medical report typewritten.
They will check the ambulance checking medical or mechanical. Because the mechanical was both.
One, mechanical, and I told you this before, you have to have, the driver, they have a checklist each shift for that, this is working, or there, whatever is in the checklist for them. Check it, we need it.
Before he was keeping copy.
Then
in the
we
car.
have A, you ask for it.
Now, give them instruction to be in the office. So
Tell
we don't have
him
in the car
we,
now.
no, we need it in the ER, because they will see it in the ER, they will not go to that. Okay, before the survey get it. Well, how the transfer patient to emergency room to another, so they will ask about this, you have to be able. Then the receiving organization, transfer patient receive the necessary information, and this is what I'm saying, the short summary.
Summary.
The and all the lab requests, all the things done. Yes. The hospital ensure the continuity of care after discharge or referral. The patient receive information. The appropriate copy of the discharge summary is provided, and surveyor will ask medical staff what you will do if the patient discharged and he will continue or follow up in another hospital. What you will ask? Yes, we give discharge summary, and we give all the lab results, and we need for communication with them. Second, we call and communicate. It's what written in the standard, what written in the policy. Now, the hospital has a process for donation, and this is the last one. Do we have donation?
For the patient, which patient?
We don't have donation. What we have the service, we give them something. How do we communicate with Sultan, Prince Sultan, yes, it's called, so that they can do donation. And this has to be
You take the post.
we give them this education, and we can communicate for donation. So the interview, yes, we don't have the service, but we advise and we give brochure. That's the provision of care. Next one, what you will want me to talk about? I will talk about patient right. We covered patient education before.
Yes.
Patient rights, patient rights. Okay. I want you to take it and put it in a way, it has to be told to the staff. Okay? It has to be told to the staff. We are not going to do whole with education. I'm not going to do. You are the qualities you need. Yes. You do educate. You.
Can you share this one?
No,
Take it.
No, we will, I already asked for it, we will take it as, we will put it on WhatsApp.
I will send it WhatsApp.
We will
I will send it WhatsApp. I will
Yeah.
convert it
Do
PDF.
whatever way you want.
Yeah, sure.
Don't
Yeah.
convert it to maybe they will add something
Yeah.
or
And
something.
we will do the lecture.
Give it
Intranet,
We'll break it
not in
up.
WhatsApp.
Upload it in the
We will
intranet.
break it into sections.
So do whatever you Take it as it is, take it as.
At least because it's
Upload
it's
to the
full na
internet.
here.
About the
Upload.
policy, put it.
Yeah.
The lectures, mama, would be uploaded in the intranet so that our staff can have the opportunity
He
to
will
read.
give us the, you can
Stop,
save
you
it
are
to
not
your
access
desk,
the
you can save it,
There's a
just,
WhatsApp.
To take it whatever you want.
What's
you
up?
guys,
It's full already.
you guys, the lecture is long.
Just
we will
fix
break
the
it
one
into
bad,
sections.
make it nice guy, the one with very small writing.